How often do you find yourself coming back from a ride and being completely exhausted? You know, far more exhausted than you think you should feel after a ride. Or find you can't do anything for the rest of the day, or even the next day you're still feeling completely wiped out. Well, there could be a variety of reasons for this, and we're going to look into those over the course of this video. The first and obvious thing is you've just run out of energy, and if you have gone out for a big ride, or you've done a long run, or you've done some heavy exercise and you haven't had any form of carbohydrate during that exercise, and all you've drunk is water, you could find you're very tired because your body is just starved of glycogen. Glycogen is the way your body stores energy or sugar, and we store enough for about an hour and a half to 2 hours exercise, depending on what sort of exercise it is and how hard you're working. But if you've not replenished that at all, when you come back, your body will be, unable to do the things you want to do purely because it hasn't got that sugar in it. So the first thing to do is make sure you fuel your exercise and eat on a ride, or drink a sugary drink during exercise. And also, when you come back, you want to make sure you're replenishing what you've eaten, or what you've used up rather, on the bike, by having a carbohydrate rich sort of meal. That doesn't mean you come back and absolutely stuff your face with anything you can find, whatever it is, a bag of crisps or anything, because that's not going to give you the right food, and you can easily overdo it, and then you wonder why you're putting on weight. So it's important to sort of have an idea, maybe with a smartwatch or something like that, how many calories. A bike computer will tell you how many calories roughly you're using, and try to replenish those calories you've used, especially, like I said, if you've only been drinking water on the bike. But it's easy to overdo it in the form of calories afterwards, so be a bit careful on how much you're eating. But that is one key thing, is replenishing your glycogen stores. Another reason you can feel really flat after exercise is because during exercise your body releases lots of chemicals and hormones that make you feel good, and you get that sort of runner's high or athlete's high. And when you come back from that, you can feel pretty flat when they have gone. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Some people recommend taking supplements, amino acid supplements, which might help. I think L-tyrosine might be one of those, so you could look into that. But again, I don't think there's a huge amount of conclusive proof about that, but that can be one of the reasons why you're feeling flat, because you have lost that feel-good chemical. Another reason you could be feeling very tired after a ride or exercise, especially if it's a long one, is dehydration. It's amazing how many people, just normally don't drink enough water during the day and are sort of permanently in a bit of a dehydrated state. If you go and do exercise and you're sweating profusely, you could be sweating, half a litre of water or more an hour. So if you're not replenishing that, and that's on top of the actual water you're using when you're burning your carbohydrate doing the exercise, if you're not replenishing that water and you don't replenish it when you come back quickly, you could be feeling really flat and tired just because you're dehydrated. And the key to hydrating is to make sure you are sipping water over a long period, not just coming back and guzzling down a pint of water, because that's not necessarily going to be taken into your system and you'll end up just going to the toilet more often. What you need to do is make sure through any exercise and after, you are really sipping that water to make sure it's absorbed well into your body. Another thing you could do while talking about water is make sure you're taking in electrolytes. If you're sweating a lot, you're going to be sweating a lot of the body's salts, and taking an electrolyte tab in your bottle is a good way of trying to ensure that you've got that covered. Whether it's during the exercise or after, you could be making sure you're drinking a drink with electrolytes, and it could be a bottle of water with an electrolyte tablet in it, or it could be an energy drink which says it has those electrolytes in it. If you've been finding this video useful or interesting, don't forget to tick that like button and subscribe if you can, just to help the channel grow. Another thing to think about is how much training you've been doing. If you've been doing a lot of training and you've had like a heavy week, back-to-back days, well, you're obviously going to be more tired, and that tiredness is just going to get worse as your body gets more and more fatigued, and then you do more exercise in a fatigued state. Your body is playing catch up all the time. So have a look and think about how much you've actually done recently, and whether you are overdoing it a bit, or whether you're recovering properly after each ride. And there's a recovery video on the channel if you want to make sure you're doing the best to recover. One of the best ways to recover is to sleep. So are you getting enough sleep? The body's main time to recover is during the night, when it is rebuilding your body, and if you're not getting enough sleep, you just won't be getting enough recovery. So make sure you are recovering well. Make sure you're sleeping, trying to get at least around 8 hours a night if you can. Obviously it's quite hard sometimes to do that, and there's, life gets in the way, but that could be something to look at. And lastly, it could just be down to mitochondrial stress. If you are working out hard and you're really pushing your body to its limits, your mitochondria, your energy factories in your cells, are going to be under stress, and like anything, they need to recover. So sometimes it's just a case of feeling tired and letting your body recover by taking it as easy as possible afterwards, not coming home after a long ride and then doing other exercise or doing some other hard DIY at home. Try to rest up properly. If you're watching this video because you feel exhausted and you've been suffering from tiredness, maybe it's time to go to see your doctor and get a proper checkout, get your bloods checked to make sure there's nothing untoward going on. So I hope you've enjoyed these tips, and I hope you found some use in the video. If you've got any other suggestions or ideas, drop them in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you soon.